Thank you for joining us for KENS 5 News at 6. I'm Isis Romero. We continue our coverage tonight in the shooting of 7 San Antonio police officers during a standoff on the north side. We've now learned that 6 of those officers have been released from the hospital, and tonight we're learning more about the suspected shooter. We have confirmed that he is a Navy veteran. Officials in Comal County have also confirmed they issued an arrest warrant for 46-year-old Brandon Poulos yesterday afternoon. A spokesman said there was a bond condition ordering him to stay away from several family members and locations. They say Poulos showed up at a prohibited location north of Canyon Lake, and a warrant was issued for his arrest. Just a few hours later, the deadly confrontation began. We have team coverage for you tonight with the latest on the officers who were injured, new details on the suspected shooter, and reaction. First, we're checking in with KENS 5 reporter Zach Briggs live from the Sonterra Heights apartments, where the police standoff went on well into the morning. Zach, what are you learning today?
Well, law enforcement has since cleared the scene here, and now you could see the boarded up windows which SWAT initially busted through to approach the suspect. After several hours of a standoff, the suspect found dead in a back bedroom. Now, earlier we caught up with someone who lives here at the Sonterra Heights apartment complex. They shared this ring camera image. It shows the suspect, Brandon Poulos, pointing a small firearm. Unknown if the suspect had additional firearms. This was just before 8:30 p.m. when police got the initial call about a suicide in progress. Police officials say when officers got on scene, a woman came out of the apartment saying Poulos was firing from inside. He eventually came out and started shooting at officers, hitting one in the leg. Now, other officers were able to get to the injured cop to safety, but during the standoff, police say Poulos managed to shoot 6 other officers. Now, we've heard from a reliable source that SWAT attempted numerous tactics to get Poulos out of the apartment peacefully, including the use of robots. This source says Poulos was tear gassed numerous times between 12:41 and 1:44, and just before 2 in the morning is when SWAT entered the apartment and found Poulos dead in a bedroom.
I don't know if he was shot by a self-inflicted wound or whether or not shot by SWAT officers.
And once again, 6 of those officers released from the hospital, the one remaining expected to make a full recovery. Live on the north side, Zach Briggs, KENS 5.
Thank you, Zach. And as you just heard, 6 of the injured officers have been released from the hospital, while 1 is still receiving treatment. Vanessa Croy joins us live from Public Safety Headquarters with what else we've learned. Vanessa?
AC San Antonio Police tells us that all 7 officers are expected to make a full recovery. Those officers caught in an ambush, risking their lives to try to take down a gunman. But what we don't know tonight is how many additional officers also risking their lives, literally running into the line of fire to help get their injured brothers in blue to safety.
Make sure you maintain that west side in case he pops out, tries to ambush these guys.
San Antonio police officers running into a war zone.
What window is he shooting out?
According to police, 46-year-old Brandon Poulos opened fire on officers at a Stone Oak apartment complex Wednesday night. The first responding officer was immediately hit, shot in the leg. And as the shooter continued his violent rampage, other officers ran toward the gunfire to save their brothers in blue.
2 more officers went down.
When the dust cleared and the shooter was no longer a threat,
Rescue on the last count I have is 4.
7 San Antonio police officers had been shot.
See the brave officers running towards those gunshots that are coming, not knowing what's waiting around the corner. That's the sacrifice that they're willing to make to keep the community safe.
Bart Vasquez is a retired SAPD officer and now the executive director of the 100 Club of San Antonio. The nonprofit supports the families of fallen first responders and officers injured in the line of duty.
All they have to do is worry about getting better, worry about taking care of their family. That takes a toll on a family. You know, when you hear that your loved one's been involved in a shooting.
As one injured officer remains in the hospital recovering, Vasquez says the officer's family has been overwhelmed with the outpouring of support.
On a daily basis, they're doing things that none of us want to do. You know, they're facing these dangers and they're making those sacrifices that we don't have to because they do.
And this is just one incident reminding us all about the risks and sacrifices our first responders make every day to keep our communities safe. San Antonio police echoing those words in a Facebook post today, also asking for prayers of support for the officers and their families as they work to recover. Reporting live at police headquarters tonight, Vanessa Croy, KENS 5.
Were there warning signs that something troubling was going on with the man accused in this attack? Court records show 46-year-old Brandon Poulos was in jail Saturday night, but was released on bond. Reporter Sue Kalberg continues our team coverage with more on his background. Sue?
Isis, you're exactly right. The charges against Brandon Poulos were serious. 2 of the 4 charges he faced were felonies. Still, with bonds totaling $35,000, he was in and out of jail in one day. The preliminary report on the incident claims Poulos showed up at a relative's house drunk. Family members told police when they confronted the man about his state of intoxication, a verbal argument turned physical. The report says Poulos pushed an 81-year-old woman to the ground, causing her to hit her head. It goes on to say a 44-year-old woman tried to intervene and she too was attacked, pushed to the ground, and dragged by her hair. They say an 83-year-old man who tried to help was hit in the face hard enough to cause multiple visible injuries. This afternoon, District 8 City Councilman Manny Pelayas released a statement saying this incident underscores the serious nature of domestic violence, and he went on to say the threat is to victims and to the police who have to respond. Now, we did reach out to the family of the domestic violence incident, the people who were attacked, but so far we haven't heard back from them. Live in the Stone Oak area, Sue Kalberg, KENS 5.
Thank you, Sue. The last 24 hours for some Sonterra Heights Apartments residents have been uneasy following the shooting. KENS 5 reporter Simone Simpson went to the complex to speak with residents about their concerns.
How do residents at Sonterra Heights Apartments feel about their safety following the shooting Wednesday night? Some feel secure, while others feel more precautions should be taken.
I was surprised. I mean, it's a pretty quiet community, in all honesty. We know a good number of our neighbors fairly well.
Pretty scary, I guess. There's a lot of gunfire. I didn't even know what was going on. Then I tried to leave and there was cops outside of my apartment.
Residents like Gabriel and Caesar say following the shooting at the Sonterra Heights apartment complex, which resulted in 7 wounded officers, they feel safe.
We haven't really had anything crazy like this, not even close. I've been here 2 years now, maybe 3, 2.5, so nothing close to this scale or magnitude so far.
Other residents like Kayla, who does not want to be identified, feel last night's gunfight should inspire more action when it comes to protecting residents.
We do our best as a community to let the apartments know we want the gates closed. We want to feel that safety, but if there's not safety, I mean, how are we supposed to handle that?
Now that the suspect Brandon Poulos is dead, most residents are hoping life can slowly get back to normal.
Something like this is very traumatic. And I'm just grateful to be alive and for everybody here in the apartment that is safe.
Reporting from the north side, Simone Simpson, KENS 5.
We are continuing to follow the latest on the suspect and the condition of the officers. Stay with us on air at KENS5.com and the KENS 5 app for updates.